Earth Day is about creating habits that improve the planet's health, and many of those things improve our own well-being as well. Here to give us some advice on how to live more environmentally conscious lives is our CBC Health columnist, Dr. Melissa Lem. Thanks so much for being here. Good to see you. We're told it's always good to have something green on our plates. Yes, Mom, I believe you. Why is that easier on the planet, first of all?
Dan, 60% of our food-related carbon emissions come from meat that we eat. And if you actually have a diet that's very high in meat, this increases your risk of colon cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and early death. So it's good for our health, too, when we switch to those plant-rich diets. And when we think about reducing our emissions from our food, in fact, if you eliminate or reduce meat and dairy from your diet, this can, in fact, reduce our overall emissions by about 80% within our food systems, combined with efficiency. And when you choose those plant-rich foods, make sure that you're choosing things that are local and in season to reduce the fossil fuels that we use when we get them from the farm to our forks.
And remind us, when it comes to the plate, how big should the green portion be?
50% of our food should be fruits and vegetables, 1/4 protein, 1/4 whole grains.
Now, when it comes to taking in nutrients, that's one thing. We're hearing about how much more time people are spending on devices, on screens. How does that impact our health?
I have two really interesting statistics for you about actually the carbon pollution related to digital use. So globally, digital technology is responsible for twice as much carbon pollution as the aviation industry. And then, in fact, the average amount of email that one person uses in 1 year, the energy is equivalent to driving 320 kilometers in a gas-powered car. And we know that, obviously, this is not good for the planet because the electricity that we generate that powers our email also releases carbon emissions when it's powered by coal and natural gas, for example. But our health is affected in negative ways, as you mentioned, when we use too much tech. So social media in particular for youth is linked to higher rates of anxiety and depression, and it's also addictive. And then staring at screens increases insomnia and makes us sedentary, and it makes our overall health way worse.
We know you are a big fan of getting out into the great outdoors. How does that, on a mental and a health level, on a medical level, improve our well-being?
Green time has so many different positive effects over screen time, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of studies showing the huge variety of different conditions that's made better by it. So, for example, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, pregnancy outcomes, development in kids. It's almost an endless list. And the reason why is when you step outside, you're naturally more active. We know that exercise is good for our health. And then also, being outside is a break for our brains. In fact, it reduces all that overstimulation that we get in urban environments, which reduces our stress and cortisol and improves our overall health.
Dr. Melissa Lem, we always appreciate your time and insight. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dan.